بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم والحمد لله رب العالمين اللهم صل وسلم وبارك على نبينا وحبيبنا محمد وعلى آله وصحبه أجمعين وبعد. Today inshallah we will talk about two surahs, Al-Qadr and Al-Bayyina. Basically we'll do two until the end of the month to hopefully inshallah finish the juz' and be done with this 4-year process of going through the surah summaries. It started in 2019 at the Westmount Masjid. Then 2 years of COVID and then this, so it's been quite a while. Alhamdulillah. So we're in the final group of surahs in Juz' Amma, 4 groups in Juz' Amma. And the final one, it's called Qasar al-Mufassal, is from Duha ila al-Nas, and each surah gives one piece of advice or one concept or one value or one scenario and what to do with it. Behavioral methods, conceptualizations, understandings, things that really stand out for us as Muslims in terms of our way of life and way of thought. And it's very, I think, convenient that tonight, inshallah, we'll talk about Surah Al-Qadr at the beginning of the 10 nights or the second night of the last 10 nights of Ramadan. So I tried to do it yesterday, but time didn't help me out. So we'll try and do it today, inshallah, Surah Al-Bayyina. Surah Al-Qadr is a Makki surah. And that alone should maybe get you wondering, or because you know that Ramadan wasn't a thing until the second year of his hijrah, sallallahu alayhi wa sallam. Like no one was fasting Ramadan the first few years of his bi'atha, alayhi salatu wasalam, right? They weren't having taraweeh. They weren't really engaging in the rituals and traditions that we are engaging in right now. Those first 15 years of his bi'atha, alayhi salatu wasalam, the second year of hijrah, that's when Ramadan was made a central part of the deen, fasting it and taraweeh, and then Laylatul Qadr became a thing they talked about. But prior to that, it wasn't known in the way that we understand it. However, the surah was revealed 10 years prior to this. So what's really worth your contemplation is, what did they understand from this surah? If Laylatul Qadr and Al-Ashr al-Akhir and Tahajjud wasn't a thing yet, it wasn't something that was openly practiced or wasn't just clearly understood, what is the surah talking about? Well, obviously it's pointing to that night that Surah Al-Alaq pointed at. Surah Al-Alaq was revealed during that night, that first night of the Prophet ﷺ's prophecy in Ghar Hira, and Surah Al-Qadr is talking about that night specifically. He says subhanahu wa ta'ala, Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim, إِنَّا أَنزَلْنَاهُ فِي لَيْلَةِ الْقَدْرِ وَمَا أَدْرَاكَ مَا لَيْلَةُ الْقَدْرِ لَيْلَةُ الْقَدْرِ خَيْرٌ مِّنْ أَلْفِ شَهْرٍ. Indeed, we have descended it or sent it down in the night of Qadr. Qadr means destiny, it means status, it means power. All of these translations are one way or the other acceptable and proper. One of them doesn't really substitute the other one. وَمَا أَدْرَاكَ مَا لَيْلَةُ الْقَدْرِ. What do you know about the night of power, night of status? Whenever he asks it in that term, in that way, أَدْرَاكَ in the past tense, he's going to tell you what it is, or you already know what it is. And he says the night of status is better than 1,000 months. خَيْرٌ مِّنْ أَلْفِ شَهْرٍ. We've talked about this a lot over the course of the last 5 to 6 weeks or more. But really what the point of this surah is, what the goal of it, so you understand what the goal is not to talk to us about this night that we are coming up towards, inshallah, or that could be tonight or any of these 10 nights. It's talking about the concept of the fact that quality is much more important than quantity. Quality is this everlasting struggle between quantity and quality, and only few can actually bring forward both in any aspect of life. I'm not talking just about religion and rituals. In any form of life, how many of us can actually bring forward both high quantity and high quality at the same time? I used to give examples, but apparently now they're not politically correct, so I won't give them anymore. But But it's known that certain countries would manufacture things, right? Very high quality, very few, merchandise. Very few things, very few, but very high quality. If you got that piece of merchandise, then you had it for years and years. Other countries will, make things in in the millions, and they're completely useless. You use them for a day and then you throw them out. So the human race has always been either this or that. What is really more, what's better, what's more valuable, what's more important? And what the surah is saying is quality is always more important. Quality, high quality is way more important than quantity. But obviously if you can't bring high quality, then at least bring high quantity, or else you're coming Yawm al-Qiyamah basically with nothing. But he's saying subhanahu wa ta'ala here, indeed we have descended it within the night of status, this high status night. This night is better than 1,000 months. It's better than a lifetime. Sometimes you'll live a full life. And really your life is, will live a life that is worthy of being forgotten. A life that's not of any significance. A life that when it says over is just an obituary and in a newspaper, maybe not even that, or it's an email you get from LMM and you go and and that's the end of it. There's not much to remember from that life, even though it went maybe 80 years or 90 years or even more. But it didn't. On the other hand, sometimes a person with just one stance, just one word, just one deed, just one action, this person will be known for that until the end of time. Sometimes you'll only know from a person's full life just one thing that they did, or one thing that they said, or one aspect of their struggle or their perseverance that you know about, that you'll carry with you until and you'll pass it down. But this person lived a long time. What about the other details of their lives? It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. It was just that one night. It was just that one moment where they took a stand. They did something worth it. They found where their pieces of the puzzle fit, and they waited until the right time, and then they did what needed to be done. And they actually made a difference, and they made impact, and they had significance. Even though maybe the majority of their lives it was just there's nothing worth noting, nothing worth talking about, but then just one moment. And this is what he's saying, subhanahu wa ta'ala. It's one night. A night can be better than a lifetime. This was before Laylatul Qadr was understood. And you're saying, is it making sense to you? He's saying this, subhanahu wa ta'ala, about that night before the comprehension of the night is what we have right now. This was revealed in Mecca. They didn't know about this yet. This wasn't something that was explained to them clearly. This later on evolved through his prophecy, through his hijrah, sallallahu alayhi wa sallam, was explained. They started to understand that, there's taraweeh and tahajjud in the last 10 nights and middle nights. And the Prophet ﷺ was doing i'tikaf the first 10 nights of Ramadan. Jibreel would come and tell him, no, there's not where it is. So he would do the i'tikaf the second 10 nights of Ramadan. Jibreel would come and tell him, it's not here yet. So he would do that. They weren't sure where it was. They were trying to figure out this deal. But the surah was revealed before that, just to explain a concept. This is the concept that we learn from Surah Al-Qadr. It's not about quantity. It's not about how long you live. It's about the quality of the things you do during your life. Sometimes it's just, all it takes is just one night. Just one moment. Just one word. Just one action. Just one deed that you do. And it's important enough. And it's valuable enough. And it weighs heavily enough that it'll make up for a full life of mediocrity. Sometimes just one outstanding action will outweigh a lifetime of mediocrity, of just living uselessly. Look for your Laylatul Qadr. Look for it. Look for your night of status. Not just the one that we're going to, that we're experiencing now at the end of Ramadan. I'm talking in the general understanding of what that word means. I'm talking about what the surah meant to the Sahaba at the time. Look for your night of status. Look for the moment. Look for what you're going to do. Look for the deed that you're going to be remembered by. The action that you're going to leave behind. The legacy that is going to matter. The rest of your life is going to be forgotten. No one's going to remember where you went to school, and where you were born, and then when you moved, and then how your wedding worked out, and then all the problems you had with your neighbors, and then the fight you fought with your brother, and then you made up again. No one's going to remember any of that. No one cares. We're way too self-centered as a human race to actually care about this stuff. But what they will remember is that one thing that you do. Or maybe it's more than one. Maybe you have more than one Laylatul Qadr in your life. But that one thing can be worth more than a lifetime. He continues, subhanahu wa ta'ala, and he explains to us what happens, for example, in that night. تَنَزَّلُ الْمَلَائِكَةُ وَالرُّوحُ فِيهَا بِإِذْنِ رَبِّهِمْ مِنْ كُلِّ أَمْرٍ سَلَامٌ هِيَ حَتَّى مَطْلَعِ الْفَجْرِ. See, when your night of status comes, when you perform that one deed that you were destined to perform, when you do that one action, when you fulfill that purpose that you were meant to fulfill, that moment that you're doing it, that's the moment when the malaika are around you. That's the moment when Jibreel is celebrating you. That's the moment where you will be in full peace until it's over. We're never at peace unless we are doing exactly what we're here to do. Unless we're fulfilling that purpose. That's when you're at peace. That's when you really are at peace. Outside of that, there's a little bit of anxiety, there's uncertainty, there's concerns, and there's worry. But when you're doing exactly what you should be doing, you know this is the right thing. I am doing exactly what Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala would want me to do at this moment. I am serving my higher purpose. You are at full peace. Deep inside. حَتَّى مَطْلَعَ الْفَجْرِ until it's over, until that night's over. It's a figure of speech. He's trying to explain something subhanahu wa ta'ala here. He's trying to get us to understand. During that time, when your night of status comes, that night that's better for you than your full life, when you're going to do whatever it is you're going to do. I don't know what it is. And the Quran is not specifying it, because everyone's going to have a different one. Everyone is destined to do something different, to serve Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala in a different way, and do an act of greatness that is different than the other one. But when that night comes, it'll be worth more than your full life. The malaika, the ruh will all be there to celebrate what you're doing, and it will be peace upon you until it's over. You will be in full, and that's why the Prophet ﷺ was a peaceful person. That's how you understand why the Prophet ﷺ was calm, always calm. No matter when you came by him ﷺ, you could never find him in a position where he was screaming and yelling, losing his temper. No, he wasn't like that. Because he was always serving his upper purpose, his higher purpose ﷺ. He was always living that. He was always in that night of status. So he's always in peace. People who aren't doing that aren't at peace. On the inside, they're not at peace. Something's missing. They know it. The people who are around them know it. We all know it. Populations upon populations are living life without knowing what their higher purpose is. Never understanding Laylat Al-Qadr. The night of your destiny, of what you're going to do. The legacy that will outlive you by far. By far will outlive you. What is it? When is it? Find it. Find it. The one that we're going to be looking for during the last 10 nights is beautiful. It's very meaningful. There's a lot of ajr in it. But what about your specific one? Because that's for all of us. That Laylatul Qadr is for all of us. We're all going to enjoy that one. But what's yours? What's your night that's worth a lifetime? That's why people who do a lot of these deeds, they live a lot of lifetimes. They outlive their own life, not by maybe a lifetime or two or a generation or two. Sometimes they outlive their lives by thousands of years. And their names continue to soar through history until Yawm al-Qiyamah because of what they were able to offer and what they did. And that's the concept of Surah Al-Qadr. It doesn't talk about what we're actually coming up towards. It's not really what it's talking about. But with the Prophet ﷺ's life, the night of destiny for him was that first night. It was his destiny, it was his status. That's what he worked up to, ﷺ. All his life was a preparation for that one moment. That moment when he was going to be given revelation and become the final messenger of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Everything before that he can forget about. This is the moment, that's the night. That changed everything. Right? Isn't that one night the reason that everything is different today? Remove that one night. Take his life, ﷺ, take out that night. Tell me what's left. And you're saying, there's nothing. It's lost. It's a loss. It's that one night that was worth not only 1,000 years and more. That's what that one night was worth. And you can have a night like that as well, if you just understand the concept of the surah. The surah after is Surah Al-Bayyina. Surah Al-Bayyina is one of the surah that is different. There's a difference of opinion upon regarding whether it's Makki or Madani. Most likely it's a Madani surah, because you don't find a Makki surah that use the word Ahl al-Kitab in it. But the opinion of it being Makki is also acceptable. And quite frankly, it doesn't make much of a difference whether it's this or that. But it's just one of those surahs in Juz' Amma, because everything in Juz' Amma is a Makki surah, all of it, from Naba to Nas, with the exception of one or two. This is one of them, Surah Al-Bayyina. Most scholars are on the side that it's probably a Madani surah for a couple of reasons. But the concept or the opinion of it being Makki is completely acceptable and very plausible. What does it mean? The Bayyina, the clarification. The clarification. Surah Al-Bayyina is a difficult surah to memorize, even though it's the point of it, and this is just a paradox so that you can kind of learn. The point of it is to simplify. All right, let's not get too confused here. Let's not get too caught up with all these details within Islam and everything that we're being asked to do, it can get confusing after a while. You can easily start losing track of what it is that you need to do and what to do now, what to say then, and what do you do when this happens, and you can get very confused. And that confusion and that heavy load of rituals and commands that you can end up dealing with can be tiring. Surah Al-Bayyina's goal is to simplify. Simplify what is required of you, what you have to do, and what you definitely should not do. You say, well, there's a lot of stuff. Yeah, Sheikh, there's a lot of things that we have to do. Yeah, okay, but let's kind of break them down to the real basics. Let's just go down to the real, let's simplify this as much as possible. So he says, subhanahu wa ta'ala, لَمْ يَكُنِ الَّذِينَ كَفَرُوا مِنْ أَهْلِ الْكِتَابِ وَالْمُشْرِكِينَ مُنْفَكِّينَ حَتَّى تَأْتِيَهُمُ الْبَيِّنَةِ. The people of the book and the disbelievers of the polytheists, the mushrikeen, and the people of the book, were not going to be left or abandoned before Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala gave them the clarification, Al-Bayyina. Before He clarified for them exactly where they went wrong and what they need to do again. Because Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has been sending prophet after messenger, explaining the same thing, and it keeps on getting manipulated, it keeps on getting lost and changed and played around with. So Al-Bayyina is saying, all right, here's the breakdown. Here's what you need to understand. Don't lose this. For Muslims, it's the same thing. For us, just don't lose Surah Al-Bayyina. Don't lose this very basic and simple clarification. What is that clarification? رَسُولٌ مِّنَ اللَّهِ يَتْلُو صُحُفًا مُطَهَّرَةً فِيهَا كُتُبٌ قَيِّمَةٌ. A messenger from Allah who's reciting purified slates. Within them are very valuable kutub. Kutub doesn't mean a book. Kitab, what it actually means is a chapter of information. That's what it means. That's why if you open a book of fiqh or hadith, you find Kitabul Iman, Kitabul Nikah. But it's not a separate book, right? We use the word kitab for book, and that's fine, by the way. There's nothing wrong with that. But the actual usage of it is a chapter of information. That's what it's actually used for. So he's saying, subhanahu wa ta'ala, the disbelievers and the Ahl al-Kitab were never going to be abandoned or left or forgotten about or neglected before we gave them the clarification in the form of a messenger of God who would recite purified slates. Within it is very valuable information. فِيهَا كُتُبٌ قَيِّمَةٌ. And then subhanahu wa ta'ala tells us the two pieces of information that are extremely valuable and that we need to understand. The first one is what we shouldn't be doing, and the second one is what we should be doing. So the first one, وَمَا تَفَرَّقَ الَّذِينَ أُوتُوا الْكِتَابَ إِلَّا مِن بَعْدِ مَا جَاءَتْهُمُ الْبَيِّنَةُ. The people of the book, unfortunately, only divided amongst themselves after Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala clarified things for them. The problem, the biggest problem that exists is division. Do what you want, but do not divide. Object to what you want, criticize what you want. Do not divide. The moment you perform tafarruq, the moment you allow there to be division within the ummah that you're a part of, you have committed the cardinal sin. You have committed the worst act that you could possibly imagine committing towards the ummah that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala sent this book to. There is no excuse for us Yawm al-Qiyamah when we're asked about why we were so divided. There will be no excuse. And it's very simple. Because right now, everyone in this room agree on over 99% of issues within this world. We agree. If you ask all the questions of life, all the big questions, you put out 1,000 questions, we would differ on maybe 11 or 12 of them. Out of 1,000 questions, maybe 11 or 12 of these questions we'll debate. The rest of them, Allah, Wahid. Prophets, all of them. Final one, Muhammad. Ultimate book, Al-Quran. Books before, all of them good. Can we believe in them now? No, there's some issues with them. Reflexes, just reflexes. Salah, fard, how many? 5, how many? Totally agreeing on huge stuff. Is there a resurrection? Yep. Is there accountability? 100%. What's going to be? Jannah or nar? Everyone just, children actually participate in this. Everyone says the exact same thing. No problem, no difference of opinion. And then maybe there's a handful of stuff. There's a handful, maybe 9, 10 things we don't agree upon. So we bring those 10 things and we put them on a plate and then we put a magnifying glass on them and then we enjoy fighting about them for the next 1,000 years. This is what's been happening. Sometimes there's nothing to disagree upon, so we go and we dig really deep into some theological issue, deep, so deep that the common man can't even understand what you're talking about. And then we differ on that. And then we fight over that, and we write thesis after book after PhD, after trying to disprove some other person's opinion on something that 99% of Muslims don't even understand, don't even comprehend what they're talking about. I grew up in two very different parts of the world. Two very different parts of the world, of the Islamic world. I was taught by scholars and teachers from both sides. And it was very interesting to me how much emphasis they put on issues that they differed with others. It was always weird to me how important in Aqeedah it was to talk about how correct tafweed was in one place, and then how important it was to talk about ta'weel in another place. Even though till this day I can bet you that most people have no idea what this means. And if you try to explain it to them, they'll look at you and like, why is this even being talked about? I don't know what you mean. What difference does it make? Wallahi, hundreds of PhD and master theses have been written. Hundreds of books have been published for people to differ on something that وَمَا تَفَرَّقَ الَّذِينَ أُوتُوا الْكِتَابَ إِلَّا مِن بَعْدِ مَا جَاءَتْهُمُ الْبَيِّنَةُ. It was clarified for them, but then they just went and they divided. They divided. There is no excuse for us Yawm al-Qiyamah of why we were so divided. There's no excuse. Because we are a qawm, or an ummah that agrees on almost everything. The amount of common ground that we have to stand upon and work together is ridiculous. There's so much that we can talk about. There's so much we agree upon. There's so much we can work together on. But no. That's too easy. That's too easy. That's too convenient. Let's find things. Let's label each other and let's fight about stuff. And let's remove one person. Let's do that. That's more our style, isn't it? It's what Ahl Kitab did before us. And unless we smarten up, it's exactly what we are doing and have been doing, unless we change. Unless we stop wasting time on these things. Unless we stop wasting time on talking about issues that don't make a difference in people's lives. That's what we shouldn't do. He's clarifying, subhanahu wa ta'ala, just don't perform tafarruq. Just don't divide. Do not divide. Just don't do that. Okay, what do I? وَمَا أُمِرُوا إِلَّا لِيَعْبُدُوا اللَّهَ مُخْلِصِينَ لَهُ الدِّينَ حُنَفَاءَ وَيُقِيمُوا الصَّلَاةَ وَيُؤْتُوا الزَّكَاةَ وَذَلِكَ دِينُ الْقَيِّمَةِ. And all they were ever commanded to do were three things. You're asked to do three things. That's it. Number one, monotheism, tawheed. You believe in Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. You worship Him and only Him. مُخْلِصِينَ لَهُ الدِّينَ, full sincerity. حُنَفَاء, you don't believe in any other deity or supreme power in the universe. You don't believe that anything else comes even remotely close to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. No one is equal to Him. No one is similar in any form or manner. He is the only God. Just have that one. How many of us have that one here? 100% of people here. It's hard to say 100% about anything, but 100% of people in this room, 100%, yes. La ilaha illallah, mukhlisina lahu ad-din, hunafa. No one else is worthy of worship. None of us disagree on this, not one person. The second one, yuqimu as-salah. The symbol of all acts of worship that are personal. The Quran symbolizes acts of worship because to count them all takes forever. So it just symbolizes them. There's acts of worship between you and God. I don't benefit from directly. There's no benefit for me directly if you pray 15 rak'ah a night. Directly, I don't benefit. Maybe indirectly, you become a better person and then it's contagious. But directly, it doesn't help me. So, وَيُقِيمُ الصَّلَاةِ, all the personal acts of worship, salah and siyam and dhikr and hajj and qira'at Quran and all that stuff. All these things that are between you and God. How many people disagree on that? Huh? No one. 100% of people here agree that yes, that's an important part of deen. My relationship with God, salah is the monument of it, but everything else, there's a lot of other actions of worship that kind of follow along. And then the third aspect, وَيُؤْتُوا الزَّكَاةَ. The symbol of all acts of worship that directly help someone else. Could you say, well, why didn't it say وَيُقِيمُوا الصَّلَاةَ وَيَصُومُوا رَمَضَانَ? No. See, Ramadan is also for you. That would be redundant. That would be repeating itself. That's not helpful. وَيُؤْتُوا الزَّكَاةَ is the symbol of the act of worship that helps someone else directly. You take money out of your pocket, you put it in the pocket of someone else. Directly, they benefited. So it's a symbol of zakah, of jihad, of birr al-walidain, of silat al-rahim, of ighathat al-malhoof, of kafalat al-yatim. All of these actions that directly benefit someone else. How many people here disagree on that? None. Not one person here. Nothing I've just said are things that people disagree upon. He's saying subhanahu wa ta'ala, let me clarify for you. Let me clarify. Are you confused? Okay, let me clarify it for you. As I clarified it for the Ahlul Kitab before you, and they didn't understand it, here's the deal. The deal is that you do not divide. You're an ummah, you stay an ummah. You stick together, you work it out. You figure it out. How? I don't care. You figure it out. But هذا فلان and this guy is saying this and I don't figure it out. Sit together and find a way to get along. Do not divide. Yawm al-Qiyamah, you come with division. Try and defend that Yawm al-Qiyamah. Try to defend the fact that you were someone who advocated division in the ummah, or you were someone who brought division to the ummah. Be very fearful of this. And may this keep you up at night, thinking, am I someone who is advocating division? Am I causing division in this ummah? And if the answer is, well, maybe, then be very, very afraid. Be very scared. Yawm al-Qiyamah, you're gonna stand there. It is gonna be very unpleasant. It's very unpleasant, Yawm al-Qiyamah, when you were someone who caused division. He's clarifying for you. Do not do that. All right? Everyone can say, all right, yes, we understand. Does anyone here disagree on that? 100% of people here, yep, we don't want division. We hate division. We hate the fact that Muslims can't get along. We hate the fact that you can be in a city and you just have a couple of organizations and no one can get along. No one can work together. No one can collaborate. No one can be patient. No one can actually put in, let go of their ego, allow things to happen. No one. It's very, very frustrating. It's very difficult. You hate it. I am with you. So let's all agree that we are not going to be people who increase or cause division. Number two, the second thing he wants from you, subhanahu wa ta'ala, adhere to these three rules. Do not get confused. Just stick to these three things. Make sure tawheed is clear to you. Make sure that la ilaha illallah is not something that you are debating. That you stick to that. مُخْلِصِينَ لَهُ الدِّينَ حُنَفَاءَ. You don't associate anyone else. You have full sincerity with Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Make sure that your acts of worship with Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala are clear. You don't neglect any of them. You're not losing any of them. You're not causing any problems with them. That's very clear to you. You're always keeping up that relationship. You're not breaking it. You're not severing it. You're not cutting it. You're not forgetting about it. And then وَيُؤْتُ الزَّكَاةَ. Make sure that you are doing khair for others. Make sure that the acts of worship that he asked you to do to help other people, you're sticking to them. You're giving your zakah, you're performing your salat al-rahim, you're doing bir al-walidain. What's confusing? Tell me. What's confusing about this? About what are we confused? What could possibly be confusing about something as simple as this? Just perform tawheed, keep your relationship with God, and help other people. And don't divide. Assalamu alaikum, we're done. That's all this is. There's really nothing else. What we're doing right now is just trying to meet that connection. We know that our connection is weak. We know that our alaqah ma Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala hasn't been great. So we come to masajid. We try to strengthen it. Do you have any other intention to come here? Is there any other reason? If you're here and you can actually help someone else to get both acts of worship, so you can actually maybe help someone, be patient with someone, show someone compassion, now you got both. Now it's a slam dunk. You came to one place and you made sure that you came with tawheed and you worshipped God and you helped someone else. You've done all three. Go home. You're good. This is what Surah Al-Bayyina does. Just very simple. Just simplifies it. إِنَّ الَّذِينَ كَفَرُوا مِنْ أَهْلِ الْكِتَابِ وَالْمُشْرِكِينَ فِي نَارِ جَهَنَّمَ خَالِدِينَ فِيهَا أُولَٰئِكَ هُمْ شَرُّ الْبَرِيَّةِ. Those who disbelieve in all of this, those who don't accept this, those who actually manipulate this, those are the worst of creation. Because what could possibly be the reason that you would manipulate or not understand what was just explained? This very simple clarification. How could you miss this? How can we mess this up? I don't understand. How are we messing it up? Well, we are, but somehow we are, but it's very simple. So those who do, sharrul bariyah, the worst of creation. إِنَّ الَّذِينَ آمَنُوا وَعَمِلُوا الصَّالِحَاتِ. Those who believe in this and perform the deeds. أُولَٰئِكَ هُمْ خَيْرُ الْبَرِيَّةِ. Indeed, those are the best of creation. And then he takes it one more step, subhanahu wa ta'ala, just so that you feel better about yourself. You see, if you just take these three things, don't cause division, hold on to those good deeds, جَزَاؤُهُمْ عِنْدَ رَبِّهِمْ. Then you're going to get a reward. جَنَّاتُ عَدْنٍ. Gardens of Eden. تَجْرِي مِنْ تَحْتِهَا الْأَنْهَارُ. From under it you will find these rivers running. خَالِدِينَ فِيهَا أَبَدًا. You are there for all of eternity. رَضِيَ اللَّهُ عَنْهُمْ وَرَضُوا عَنْهُ. He adds to it even, subhanahu wa ta'ala. You know the Jannah part. No, I'm going to add to you. If you don't divide, and you're not a cause of division, and you hold on to tawheed, and you perform your salawat and your relationship acts of worship, and you're helping people, then رَضِيَ اللَّهُ عَنْهُمْ وَرَضُوا عَنْهُ. He will be fully satisfied with you, Yawm al-Qiyamah. full satisfaction. Nothing is missing. You understand what the best thing in the world, the most valuable thing in the world is ridwanun min Allah. Is if Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is pleased with you. If He's satisfied, you're good. I don't need anything more. What you've done, I'm happy with. Good. That is the best thing that you'll ever hear, ever experience in your life. ذَلِكَ لِمَنْ خَشِيَ رَبَّهُ. Indeed, that will be for those who revere their Lord. If you revere Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, you'll think twice before you divide this ummah or add to the division. You'll think twice before you poke at tawheed or lose your salah or fail to help other people. If you truly have reverence of God, and that's the theme or the goal of Surah Al-Bayyina, just to simplify exactly what we're here to do. Do not get confused, it's very clear. We'll end with that. Subhanakallah wa bihamdik, shalla la ilaha illa anta astaghfiruka wa atubu ilayk wa sallallahu alayhi wa Muhammadin wa sahbihi ajma'in. Last thing before we make adhan. So, barakallah feekum, a lot of people have been very generous and they brought us, there's a lot of things here in the masjid and gifts, but we have an abundance of water.